This is the History of Portugal podcast, an Eat to My Own Beat podcast. New episodes every Friday. Check us out on our Facebook page, the History of Portugal podcast, on YouTube, as well as my website, www.eattomyownbeat.com. Welcome back to the History of Portugal podcast. This is episode 107, the loss of Lisbon and Sintra in 1094. Lisbon and Sintra surrendered to the Almoravids in 1094. Besieged by Almoravid forces, Soares Mendes resisted vigorously in Santarem until Sayre withdrew to North Africa. Count Raymond's lack of capacity against the Muslims dictated his loss of prestige at the Lyonese court. In 1096, his cousin Henry was made new Count of Portugal and attributed the territory between the river Minho and Mondego. In 1102, Count Henry defeated a Muslim force at the Battle of Arousua, together with Egas Moniz. The loss of Santarem, 1111. In 1110, Count Henry dispatched the Adel Soares Fromariges to Santarem with a number of troops to reinforce the city against the Almoravids, who threatened the former frontier. These forces were, however, attacked with the encamped at Vantalandi, an unknown location close to Tagus. Soares Fromariges and the knight Miro Cressones were killed in action. The following year, Santarem was again besieged by an army led by Sayre, lacking sufficient forces to resist effectively or assure relief, and the city fell to the Almoravids, and the county of Santarem was abolished. Count Henry died in 1112, and his wife Teresa took over as regent for their young son, Alfonso Henriques. Thank you for listening to the History of Portugal podcast, a Eat to My Own Beat podcast. New episodes every Friday. Get more information on the History of Portugal podcast on Facebook, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Check out www.eattomyownbeat.com for more information on our travels.